Believe it or not, I do occasionally get tired of just constant chores and work. As a matter of fact, it happens quite frequently. I'm human. I burn out just like everybody else. However, I have a solution to that. It's called a boat. And here she is. I know she might not look like much, but she's mine, free and clear. Had her for a while. And tell you what, she catches fish. I call her my cheap date because the way she's set up, an afternoon of fishing only costs me, well, right now the going price for a bucket of night crawlers is $5.49, and it probably costs $1 worth of gas to get up to my local home lake. So yeah, I'll show you how I got her set up. Well, so let's head into the shop and I'll tell you about her while I'm setting up the new pair of oars that I just bought her. So I call her cheap date for a reason. I throw $10 at that thing. I spend an entire afternoon sitting on a lake, enjoying the fresh air, watching the pretty girls go by in their kayaks and paddle boards. I'll admit it. I'm single, not dead. And just slaying the freaking rainbows, cutthroats, perch, whatever I'm in the mood to catch. Or, well, we're not going to talk about the dating scene in my area for my age group. So, a little bit about the boat itself. She's a 1959 Alumacraft 12-foot semi V hull. Nothing fancy, just your basic little rowboat, you know. In fact, where I live in Washington State, even though the previous owner that I bought it from, when he still used it, he kept it registered and licensed and everything. The laws have actually changed. I think I'm going to like these, to where I don't even have to I don't even have to pay to license it every year. Um, because it is under 16 feet and rated for less than a 10 horsepower motor, Washington state law does not even require that it be registered unless I'm taking it into federal waters, which, no. Um, I've been known to be brave and possibly stupid, but even with all of my testicular fortitude, I am not going out into the waters of the North Pacific in a boat that's barely bigger than a beer can. Um, just not happening. No. Uh, for starters, I get seasick enough in a properly sized saltwater boat just because I'm not used to being out there. And on top of that, you know, I do enough dumb shit in the name of a good time that could possibly get me killed. Why would I want to die fishing? It's like defeating the purpose. So I bought it back in 2012 from an old friend of my family. As a matter of fact, it was Grandma Landlady's uh, dear departed husband Called him my Grandpa Ben, even though, once again, not related. He was mine and my dad's fishing, hunting. Yeah, it was just plain just cool old fart that my dad and I palled around with. Um, he had had a stroke about, I think it was 6 or 7 years before he sold her to me. Was in a wheelchair, and the boat was just sitting out behind the barn. And he just asked me one day if I wanted to buy it off of him for $700, boat, motor, and trailer. Actually, it was boat, trailer, and 2 motors. A 4-horse Johnson outboard that I'll admit I never use because it's 2-stroke. And the 3 closest lakes to my house, only one allows internal combustion engines, and it's 4-stroke only. So really no point in getting all worked up over running an outboard. Now the whole time, so it just sat behind the barn for years after I bought it, never moved for reasons don't really want to talk about. And then a couple years ago, I got it out, decided I wanted to start fishing again, and started working on it. Since then, I've set it up to where it's about, I'm pretty sure it's about the cheapest way 2 people can fish from a boat, at least in Washington State. All right, there's one new oar. One of the few issues that I've had with this thing over the years is launching it by myself can be a bit challenging because, for whatever reason, Grandma Landlady and I have torn this place apart, turned it upside down. I've only ever had one oar, so rowing out from launches is tricky. Today, while I was in town, I rectified that for $45 a piece. However, as you can see, I may have screwed up. For some reason, I was thinking that old nasty, possibly rotten oar, for some reason I was thinking it was only 5 feet long, or 5 feet was higher than my nipples. At the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really, as long as we acknowledge that mistakes were made, it doesn't really matter what those mistakes were. Plus side with where I've got it set up for me to sit, I think I'll be able to row. That's all that matters. Ouch. Smashed my damn thumb. So as far as motor power goes, since I don't run the 2-stroke, I don't have to buy gasoline. I got this Minn Kota trolling motor here, and it is way more trolling motor than this boat needs. It's a 40-pound Endura, and because it is so oversized, which is deliberate, I'll tell you why in a minute, it pushes this thing along great with just Cadence and I in it. And That's the power source right there. It's nothing fancy, just a 100 amp hour marine battery. Oh, and this is what charges said 100 amp hour marine battery. In fact, let's see here. Oh, look at that. Why does it never want to focus on this damn thing? Oh, bloody hell. Well, you probably can't see it, but it says 14.4 volts. So, boat's fully charged. I can go fishing whenever I want. So, by now, we're probably far enough into this that you're probably sitting there thinking, what is the point of this video, Ben? Are you just showing off your toys or what? Well, yes, I'm kind of showing off my toys. I mean, it's a cool little boat. Why not? But, Scrappy, mostly, the point of this video is successful homesteading also requires recreation. You have to allow yourself just the occasional moment of zen, a little bit of joy, bliss, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you just got to do something just for fun. And my old aluminum boat, you know, yeah, it's not some big, flashy, 40, 50 mile an hour jet powered monster that, the gel coat alone was $20,000. Hell, it's not even painted. Mostly just because I haven't decided what color I want to paint it yet. And I'm not sure if I'm done working. Oh, wow, that is crooked as hell. Well done, Ben. I mean, there's a lot of things it's got going for it that kind of help me relax, you know. First of all, it gives me something to tinker with. I'm always fiddling around with it, looking for ways to make it more comfortable or more, you know, usable. Basically, just more, I guess. Yeah. It's just like anything else. You want to get the most out of your investment, right? Um, and for me, part of the fun that's come from owning that little boat is the amount of stuff that I've learned about taking care of a boat. And one of the biggest things that I've learned is the whole boat means break out another 1,000. That's bullshit. Um, just like anything else, if you have the basic capacity of doing stuff for yourself, owning, especially an aluminum boat, is not at all expensive. Okay, so I'll admit it's a few days later. Western Washington is just being absolutely relentless this spring with the rain. I did get out last night though, managed to catch a couple of decent rainbows and a perch. So this is the part where I show you how you put together a nice little fishing boat for under 1,500 bucks. I already mentioned earlier in the video that I only paid $700 for the boat, the trailer, my original electric motor, not this one, and a 4-horse 2-stroke Johnson that I never use. So since then, I paid $200 for this Minn Kota 40-pound thrust because I like the idea of not having to buy gas on top of that. Lets me fish. A lot of the lakes in this area are, the whole lake is a no wake zone, and they're electric motor only because they don't want the petroleum pollution and noise of internal combustion outboards. So that motor, I'm not gonna lie, it is way more thrust than this boat actually needs, but it's actually kind of cool because it'll actually push me along pretty damn good, and it's got enough power that I can fight the wind when I have to. So that was about $200. This motor, that's not a motor, that's a battery. Bought it used, 50 bucks. This blue seat came with the boat. This one was $60 from Walmart. So right now we're at 1,100 bucks. $100 for the oars and the hardware for them. 15 bucks for the ammo can that I use for dry storage. And I even have something most people with tiny boats don't. I'm not going to pull it out and set it up, but down in there is my fish finder. I'll show that off in another video. Maybe I can actually, if the weather will actually ever straighten out, might get some video out on the water with this thing. I did, however, I didn't get any video last night while I was out fishing, but I did take some pictures. I'll throw those on at the end of the video. Oh, and here's my live well. Something to keep in mind with these small boats is you always got to be careful about weight, especially if you're a big dude like I am. That's why my seat, the one that I drive the boat from and everything, is actually set a little ways back from where the rear bench is. The rear bench is actually there. It's part of my rear decking. That's where I would sit to drive when I first got this boat. However, I'm a big guy. I weigh a lot. Okay, over 200 pounds. And so, you know, sitting back there in the back of the boat, I would actually make it ride so low that we were only out of the water about that far at the transom. That's enough to make anybody nervous. However, just by moving my seat forward about 1.5 feet, it now rides level in the water, and it's a lot more stable. So with a small boat, you always got to be conscious of your weight distribution and stuff like that, and how much everything weighs. Last summer we were rocking a cooler inside the boat that we could circulate the water in to aerate it and stuff, but that was just too dang much weight. So I picked that basket up for 10 bucks. It just, the rope goes around this 2x4 under the oar. The basket hangs over the side of the boat. Presto, it's right there, easy to reach. Katie catches a fish. She just swings it over to me. I unhook it for her, drop it in the basket. And then got rod holder there for me. One there for Kate. That way if we got to do something, we got someplace to, you know, drop our rod without having to worry about it leaving, like if we get a good hard bite. When we went out last night, the new oars, even though they're a little on the short side, they did allow me to pull the boat away from the launch without even hurting my shoulder. So those work. And Next payday, she's getting a bilge pump so that I don't have to pull the plug every time it rains. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So at this point, my total investment in that little boat is, I think I'm at, right now, I think I'm at about $1,300, including buying the boat. Um, However, keep in mind, I'm also seriously thinking about selling that little Johnson since I never use it, which will give me back whatever a late 90s model 4-horse Johnson 2-stroke is worth that doesn't have hardly any hours on it. And there's also the fact that, going off of what I saw when I was at the local mom and pop sporting goods store the other day buying my new oars, I think Walmart might have screwed me last year. I may have paid too much for my Minn Kota, but I didn't know that at the time. So, you know, and before I started making this video, I jumped on Facebook Marketplace and took a look around. Without a trailer, little 12-foot, just bare aluminum boats, similar to mine, various makes and models, they're going for $200 or $300 without a trailer, $500 with a trailer that needs work. So that's where we're keeping with the theme of the channel on this one. You know, grab something cheap and fix it up until you got, and just keep fixing it up until you got something nice. You know, I've got all I need to have a good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good time period out on the water fishing. Yes, it's not fast, but if I wanted it to be fast, I could make it fast, you know. But that's not what it's for. I might do another one in the future. But if you like this, hit like, and subscribe. And I think we're going to start doing some more of these just outdoor for fun adventure type videos over the course of this summer, just because, you know, there's only so much you can say about growing vegetables and cutting firewood. Meanwhile, good boy Scrappy, I'll see you all next time, and go have fun with something.